So tonight I'll sing a song to all my friends, also to the I want to see once more. I just pray that you will love me.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Japanese Anime Mania, or JAM. There comes a time when you encounter a show that is just so gripping and visually different that you are just left speechless. When I first watched this show, I was just blown. I didn't know what to expect because I had read the original story. But the thing is though, is that seeing the story in a different timeline, but with very, very different art style, I was like, whoa! And so then I had to sit down and quickly record this episode because I loved the whole thing. So, for today, we'll be reviewing Gankutsuou, or better known as the Count of Monte Cristo. Let's go! So, for the story here, I'm just gonna have to, if you haven't read the original novel, Count of Monte Cristo, then it is gonna be kind of spoilerish in some regards. But I will try to keep it as little, tight, and compact, so that way you can enjoy the show and the novel if you choose to go watch them both. Gankutsuou is not like the novel in the sense that during the novel, it's set during the Bourbon French Revolution, which is a long time ago. Like, we're talking about like 1500s. No, this Gankutsuou is set in the year 5000 in space. So it's the city of France in space. So it's awesome. So we have our main character, Albert, as he's going to the moon to celebrate a festival when he bumps into the Count. And the Count is the most badass character you could meet. Because he's rich, he's calm and collected, and he's a psychopath. So alluding back to the book, this part of the section is going to differ from the original due to the fact that the anime follows Albert, while the book in the original series, of course, follows the Count himself. So we're getting a skewed perspective, but that plays well and perfect into the overall narrative. We are given bits and pieces of the Count's backstory and what his true intentions are for dealing and being friends with Albert. I would go into supporting characters here, but the problem is that there are a bunch of characters in this show, at least around 30 or 40, because again, based off the novel, and they had 24 episodes to deal with the whole book. So they were able to go pretty much all the way in and get all the material out all in one set. Alright, now to the section that I really want to talk about. Animation and sound for this show is one of the weirdest and best feelings I've had for an anime in a while. For animation, okay. Right now you're gonna be seeing just this beautiful scene, and I can't explain it. It is a combination of Photoshop textures on top of digital animation. So it's just something you've never seen before, and I was really surprised, and well, initially I was kind of sick to my stomach because it was just something so out of place and strange to me, but eventually it worked, it wore on me, and I loved every second that it popped up on screen. It shows off that one kind of French weird fashion style, as well as it's the future. We're supposed to have weird clothes, right? So combining those two together, and it just makes everything work in space. Music-wise, again, we still have some good, very interesting music because it plays into the space motif and the, you know, regular French motif and whatnot. So it works really well for what it does. So, for a final recommendation, I would have to give Gankutsuou the rating of buy it. I give it buy it just because the show is something so visually stunning and different that you're probably never going to find something that's the same like it. It retells a very good classic story in such a way to where it will appeal to a newer audience as well as an older audience due to it being, you know, a story of romance, betrayal, love, hate, and everything that makes a good story. And might I mention there's also some robot fights in some points. Because, you know, robot fights in the future, right? That always works. Gankutsuou is licensed by Funimation and it is streamable on their website. For all the recommendations, I would have to say, firstly, Romeo and Juliet. Well, it's Romeo X Juliet, But it's still a good show due to the fact that we have another retelling of a great book, or story in this case, of course, Romeo and Juliet. So, if you haven't read Romeo and Juliet, then use this show as an example. But it's pretty much the same story in every reiteration of the original book. Romeo x Juliet is licensed by Funimation and is watchable on kissanime.com. For another ultimate recommendation, I would have to say La Chevalier d'Eon. Well, Gankutsuou is based off a book. La Chevalier is based off historic events in France. So we still have the French motif going on. It's also very dramatic, just like Gankutsuou, and that's what kept me going on to watch La Chevalier. La Chevalier is licensed by Funimation and is streamable on kissanime.com. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and have a good one.
They paved paradise and put up a fucking lie, with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a fucking lie.